Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amy and I travel pretty much full time. I'm from Canada, but my boyfriend is from the UK, from England, and his family now lives in Cambridge. So we're gonna see how far 25 pounds can get you in Cambridge, a somewhat locals guide. The first thing we did was pick up a bike to use to bike into town. This is gonna be the best way to get around if you're doing Cambridge on a budget. And we were able to borrow bikes from Sam's family, which was great because we didn't have to spend a cent. But if you don't have a bike, you can pick some up, some city bikes. They're not too expensive. I don't really know the exact price offhand, but they are pretty affordable. Anyway, there's lots of trails that can take you right into the city, and it's beautiful on a summer day. And we stopped at this spot because I noticed the cows, and it's quite funny seeing a bunch of cows right next to the center. But yeah, watch out for the cow poo so you don't step in it, and you can hang out around this area as well if you wanted to. Next up, we wanted to go get some coffee, so we walked over to Hot Numbers, which is a really great shop in the area. There's, I think, 2 different locations in Cambridge, and the coffee's great. I'm going to put the price on screen for everything we spend, but this was the first chunk of money we were spending. Next up, we ended up going to the Fitzwilliam, which is probably the most popular museum in all of Cambridge, and the best one in my opinion.
This is a very cool area.
All the swords.
There's a gun and an axe.
Yeah, nice.
Cool.
Next, we wandered over to the pottery section and just checked out what they had. I really liked this area because there was lots of color, and it was just interesting to see all the different designs and where it came from. And then we went upstairs where they had lots of different paintings, which I also loved.
Guess which one's my favourite?
The one with the bird.
Yeah.
There's also plenty of sculptures at this museum, and I found those to be the most interesting probably. They're just so detailed and crazy to look at, and I loved seeing them around the museum. But this is my favorite room because there's so much detail and of course more sculptures here. So this is a spot I spent maybe 10-20 minutes, and then we went to check out the Egyptian area as well.
There's an old Cambridge little story myth that in nighttime these lions come alive and wander the streets.
Next, we went to Pembroke College, which is one of the college campuses for Cambridge. Usually you have to pay to enter these college campuses, but Pembroke is one of the ones that are free. You can do a little research online to find a list of all the free ones, but it does change depending on the day that you're there. So we just went to one because we noticed that this one was open, and I also saw that there were really good reviews and it was beautiful. So we just spent the afternoon kind of walking around this section. And we also checked out the chapel that they have on site. Every single college campus has a chapel. They all kind of look the same from the photos, so we thought it would suffice to check out this one. Usually you have to pay to enter these campuses. There's some that are up to, I think, 8 or 10 pounds each, which is quite steep, so we just stuck to the free one. And then we walked over to another museum. All the museums are free in Cambridge, I forgot to mention. So the Museum of Zoology is next. Sam is super into zoology and science, so he was really excited to show me around. I, however, am not super into, seeing dead animals, basically. But it is pretty interesting. If you're coming with kids, it's a good place to show them around. And there is also a really great cafe that has good prices for food and drinks. So if you wanted to stop somewhere for lunch or just for a quick drink or snack, it would be a good place. But yeah, this particular area was not my favorite. Like, just seeing all the stuffed animals kind of weirds me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Sam was obsessed with birds, or is obsessed with birds, and wanted to show this section. And next we walked over and saw kind of the evolution of humans. They show you with skeletons from chimps and monkeys and gorillas up to humans, and that was pretty cool to see actually shown in a museum. And finally, we saw this little underground section and this massive skeleton that's in the center of the museum. I thought this part was pretty cool as well. But that's a wrap on the Museum of Zoology. And next we went to the Museum of Archaeology.
My mum actually volunteers here, so this museum has a connection to my family, I suppose, and to me, at the moment, it's the most interesting one.
So let's go in. Sam loved showing me around this area. There is a whole downstairs section that's not too big, and then there's an upstairs as well.
So this is kind of a lot of stuff that was found in the local area. So all of this sort of Bronze Age stuff, spearheads, swords. I don't know if that's Bronze Age, but might be. Pretty cool. I think these are like nails. Like, I don't know for sure. I don't know what they are.
There's always new exhibits going on, so this was a new one on the main level, but it might change if you're coming here in a couple months. Then we made our way upstairs where you can see this massive totem pole that comes from Canada, and then we decided to leave and make our way over to the Sedgwick Museum, which is also just a couple minutes away. This is known also as the Dinosaur Museum, and I found this one to be pretty interesting. They have lots of fossils and skeletons, and there's a lot you can do and see in here. You maybe need 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how interested you are. But we were kind of wrapping things up at this stop because I was getting really hungry from all the things we were doing and considering where we could go and stop for lunch. Heading to the market square.
Hopefully the market's still open.
The market square is right in the center of Cambridge and easy to find. It's open every single day until 4 p.m. usually, and there's so many different stalls that sell food but also have like a little bookshop and places where you can buy gifts. We ended up getting a falafel and a halloumi sandwich for £6 and £7. So this took up most of our budget, but it was so worth it. And we just sat on the curb over here to have our lunch before wandering around again. We ended up walking over after lunch to the mathematical bridge where you can see people punting. Punting is pretty expensive. It's usually like 25 or 30 pounds if it's guided. So we decided to skip out today and we just walked behind the colleges after to get a nice little view. You can pay to enter this area, but we decided to just see it from afar. So I think we came in perfectly at our budget for 2 people, £25. I think that was pretty good for a whole day of exploring Cambridge. There were a couple things I wanted to let you know and things that you could do that we didn't have time to fit into our day that are free or cheap. So one is the Fudge Kitchen. I've been there so many times, usually around Christmas time, and it's right in the center as well. It opens around 10 a.m. each day and you can go check it out and they will make fudge right in front of you. You can try free samples. I think typically 1 bar of fudge is about £6, but they do a couple different deals if you're gonna buy a few. And honestly, it's really worth it. The fudge is amazing. They have vegan options too if you're vegan. And yeah, that's just a cool spot to go see, even if you just want to try a couple free samples. And if the weather is good, you can go have a picnic either at Jesus Green, which is a big open park area, or at Parker's Piece. I personally like Parker's Piece a lot more. And they have a big Ferris wheel at Parker's Piece too. I think it is quite expensive, so that's not the best if you're doing it on a budget, but if you want to just have a picnic with some friends or family, then Parker's Piece or Jesus Green is a good spot to do it. And lastly, we cannot forget about ice cream. If you are coming to Cambridge in the summer, if it's hot, then you should definitely go to Jack's Gelato. It's also very central and they have really good prices if you just want a small scoop. They have tiny scoops for £1.80 and I think they do a double tiny scoop for like £3 or something like that. So that's a really good deal as well if you're trying to keep the budget down. And it comes really highly rated as one of the best places to get ice cream in the Cambridge area. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe because I put up 2 new videos every single week, unless I'm traveling, which I was last week, which is why there was only 1 video. But later this week, I'm going to have another video on Cambridge, some hidden gems and things that you can't miss. So if you're planning a trip there, you don't want to miss out, make sure you watch that video next time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!